Sean, you can already see and feel the difference in D.C. People are knowing that they can walk down the streets, they can run their errands, and they can do so in a more safe environment today than they could just a week ago. In fact, the statistics say that just robberies and those crimes are down 46% in the last week because of what President Trump has done to go after these criminals. So we've got a lot of different agencies that are out there working together. I'm so glad that there are states that are stepping up and being willing to activate National Guard troops to help as well. We've got ICE and CBP, we've got Secret Service, we've got all different kinds of DEA and the FBI and those folks from the DOJ that are committed to this effort. And they've really got the backs of the American people. I'm so proud of the work that we're doing.
Why are the Democrats literally defending crime? They're defending crime. While you go live in your suburban enclaves protected by gates and freaking probably armed security, you are literally advocating for President Trump to not be able to use the home rule. He is constitutionally authorized to do that because he is the Article 2, he is the executive of the executive branch.
A different topic, okay, Eric Swalwell, congressman, he was on CNN on Saturday and he had thoughts about Michelle Obama's famous line of when they go low, we go high. He wants it replaced. Watch.
In the earlier Obama years, there was the, of course, old adage that at this point is old, when they go high, or when they go low, we go high, to use that metaphor. Do you have any concern that this could overreach or could backfire?
No. When they go low, we're going to bury them below the Capitol. Right now, as you see, D.C. has been militarized, and we were weak as Democrats. Either we're on our heels, and the most vulnerable are on their heels reacting to Donald Trump, or he's on his heels reacting to us.
I guess this is part of their fight, fight, fight mode. It rings very hollow, but also sounds dangerous.
It sounds dangerous. And again, you have Democrats like Eric Swalwell fighting on these issues like they don't want to clean up Washington, D.C. I mean, 91% of people who live there say crime is a problem, and yet they're
including their staff.
Including their staff, including them if they were honest. They can't, walk around Capitol Hill, especially after hours when you're working late in a job like that, feeling comfortable or being safe where they're working and living. But if Democrats are going to continue to fight on these issues that are not only just 80-20, but the majority of Americans have common sense on, they really aren't going to be winning any political battles in the future. They keep doubling down on things that they should be working with the Trump administration on, but they refuse to for the sake of politics and ideology. It's quite astonishing to watch.
Democrats are proving every day that they seem to be the defenders of the lawless, right? And as you saw from the intro, Trump his favorability is increasing over the handling of crime. I think I did a video reporting on the polling on this, that he's gaining approval on handling crime of the way he's handling DC. And now they're trying to bring the same model to the other high crime cities. Pam Bondi sends 32 letters to mayors, 7 to governors, demanding they comply with ICE or Trump will federalize their cities like he did in DC. And this is specific to sanctuary cities. As you well know, I covered a story on the illegal migrant who did an illegal U-turn. Turns out this guy couldn't even read English, which was one of my speculations for why that accident happened. He probably didn't read the signs that he couldn't use that turn thing. And this only highlights more issues with Democratic policies to a degree, right? You see on the issues that Eric Swalwell, he said, oh, if they go low, we go lower, right? This mantra that they're trying to spew, right? But the funny part is that Trump is only exercising this power because he's justified. He gives justification for this. And Democrats' only justification for doing anything they do is against Trump. Like, make it make sense. And this is one of the reasons I think that a lot of Democrats are not winning on these issues, right? Trump's crackdown on DC crime is actually making neighborhoods safer for people to the point where people are actually happy with the outcome. When last time Democrats did something policy-wise, where do you hear massive approval from the American people? You can't think you can't even remember the last time Democrats ran on something positive. Everything coming out of the Democrats' mouth is negative, but it's the opposite with Trump. Trump federalized DC police. Next, you know, people are happy. Oh my God, I can walk through the city safer now. I can actually look at these monuments. Don't believe me? Here's, take a look.
Thank you, Trump. You can now come and check out the monuments, get something to eat, and check out the sites in Washington, D.C. and not get robbed, carjacked, or killed by somebody who looks like me.
I just worry that Trump is targeting our most vulnerable stabbers.
Yeah, you got to look out for them.
It is hysterical how every time the media interviews an actual DC citizen, hoping for a viral clip of them bashing Trump, it's never that way. It's always the opposite, and they're always black. Meanwhile, you look at the protests, and they're whiter than Brian Kilmeade's fan club. It's there's nothing more harmful to a black person than a virtue signaling white liberal. If they are responsible for more suffering than drugs, crime, poverty, because they're the ones that are always defending and or enabling it, so you can't get better. I'm waiting for the argument to come out that since crime and chaos has gone down in D.C., they've lost a bit of their culture. You know, I used to remember going down to D.C. It was so exciting. You never knew if you were going to make it home, man. I like it back when they had the sex workers and the carjackers. That's the conversation you used to get about New York in the 70s. Oh, the peep shows. That was amazing. You had pimps everywhere. Stuff written by guys that Jesse loves to read. Where am I? Oh, this also proves that the broken window policing actually works. That when you enhance the neighborhood and you make it safer from smaller infractions, then larger infractions don't take place. For a while there, the libertarians were peddling a study saying, oh, it didn't work. But the stats turned out to be completely unreliable. What was reliable were your eyes and your ears. Anybody who lives in a neighborhood with broken windows policing can tell you that it works. Nice places are victimized less, and if you can't stop graffiti, you're telling criminals you can't stop anything.
And Democrats look really bad here because we all know this is all political partisanship. That's all it is. You can't be honest. Like, come on. You can't recognize that DC crime in DC is a problem and it should be handled more effectively. But that's a shot at their own leadership. Just like it's a shot at their leadership where Gavin Newsom attempted to fact check Donald Trump about the illegal migrant that got a CDL license from California, saying that, oh, Trump authorized him to work in this country. That's how he got the CDL in California. Then receipts came out and Donald Trump denied the illegal work permits. The one who approved his work permits was Joe Biden. So every problem in this country seems to always lead back to some Democratic leadership, Democratic management, or Democratic policy. Democrats, the problem with why your messaging isn't effective is because it's built on a faulty foundation. I used to play basketball when I was a younger lad. You know, I'm 29 years old. That was about, maybe 12 years ago. And my coach always pushed, hey, the fundamentals. The fancy moves ain't what gets you where you need to go. It's the fundamentals. And fundamentally, Democrats' messaging is based on a faulty premise, faulty results, and their whole messaging, essentially, I can summarize it as lipstick on a pig. Oh, crime rates are high in blue cities. Oh, so is in red states. So is in red states. Crime is high in red states. Red states are like, this is our solution to solve this problem, but these cities where most of the crime comes from are managed by Democrats. Democrats want to dress up problems and pretend that it's a feature. That's the Democratic message. And Fox confirmed that DOJ probe into the DC crime data was fake.
So can you confirm for us that there have been police officers and detectives and members of law enforcement in DC who on the scene of crimes have been told, yeah, don't write that one down, or don't add that to the list, or put that down as a more minor offense?
Absolutely. That's one of the chief complaints of our members when we go around and talk to them, is that they respond to the scenes of these violent crimes, and inevitably you'll have a captain or a commander or sometimes a lieutenant show up on the scene and advise them to take a report for a lesser offense. One of the things that we see.
Imagine Democrats gerrymandering with their crime statistics. It's so on brand for the Democratic Party. Democratic Party is nothing. They're nothing but flash, no substance. Democrats are flash, no substance. That's what it is. Democrats is a basketball player, right? You see at the park. You got if you play basketball, you guys know who I'm talking. What kind of player I'm talking about? Talking all kind of ish. He's like, yo, I used to be the starting point guard for so and so school. None of you guys can f with me. Wait until I get like y'all see. Wait until I get on the court. Then he gets on the court, can't do a lick of nothing, gets locked up, locked up. People doing they're locking him up, can't get a shot off, and you're like, this guy is the guy who was supposed to make it to the NBA, but he can't even get a shot off. But he was talking like he was the best ish on the court. This is how the Democrats are talking. They coming in, oh, we Democrats just know how to govern better than the Republicans. Okay, your cities look like crap, right? A lot of your cities are running on deficits. Chicago, New York. You have to raise taxes on your residents to make up for your bad spending habits, for your bad financial management, Democrats. But somehow you know how to govern better than Republicans. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so Republicans have their faults, sure. I admit that. Everyone has their faults. But if I'm looking at a trade-off, Republicans offer more for their governance compared to Democrats. You're downplaying crime statistics for what? So the criminal can one day go to college. That don't sound like accountability to me. That sounds like an incentive to embolden more bad behaviors. And that's exactly what you're getting in blue cities. The top 10 dangerous cities with the most crime are all ran by Democrats. 8 out of the 10 are ran by Democrats. 80% ran by Democrats. And Democrats believe that they should be managing your cities, your justice system. Oh, we're here for a fair system. No cash bail. And just look at the results. I don't care about your intentions. Look at the results. The road to hell was paved with good intentions. That's a quote for a reason. That's a saying for a reason. Because you can have, oh, I don't want these kids to have their lives ruined forever. But if they're continuously doing reckless actions that put society at risk, they must get a punishment, not a slap on the wrist. And that's the problem with Democratic leadership. Suicidal empathy. That is the key word of the day. Let's continue.
Do often is sometimes there'll be a shooting or a stabbing, and if the victim is uncooperative with the police, which is not uncommon in some areas of the city, they'll be directed to take an injured person to the hospital report, which is not even a crime at all. It's an incident report. Sometimes you'll have a robbery. It'll be reported as a theft. Other times you'll have burglaries that are reported as unlawful entry or thefts. This is something that's been, unfortunately, part and parcel of the police department for some time, and we're very skeptical that these crime stats are accurate.
That's extraordinary. What is the motivation? Why are these commanders or higher-ups arriving on the scene during apprehensions and telling police officers to indicate something other than what actually happened at the scene?
Well, the only explanation could be to keep the crime stats down, because politically that's expedient for the police department and elected officials in the district. I mean, let's go back to how we got here, which is that in 2020, the D.C. City Council passed the Comprehensive Policing and Justice Reform Act, which was a sweeping piece of legislation designed to hamstring police officers, to reduce the size, scope, and responsibilities of police officers. In addition, it also...
What does it sound like to you? That's an incentive to create a lot of you setting up a situation for criminality, right? And this is it goes back to this point that you show me the incentive and I'll show you the outcome. What outcomes are you looking for by restricting police, reclassifying crimes to a lower charge? What's the incentive there? Oh, you embolden criminals. You embolden people to do more crime. And then when Donald Trump comes in or a Republican comes in, they have to go very aggressively to counteract all the years of just allowing things to go. And then we have to exert so much force to get stuff back in line that, oh my God, look. And this is what I'm talking about, that the liberal love of optics is what's killing us politically. It's what's killing Democrats politically. The love of optics. Oh, it don't look like good optics to have the National Guard patrolling your capital streets. But that's a necessary amount of force to correct all the years of incentivizing criminality in your district. That's the level of force it'll take to push the envelope back to where people can walk safely in their city. But Democrats don't care. They don't care how the residents are perceiving this, taking this. And then they have the goal to say that people are regretting voting for Trump. Hell, Democrats are not. I bet you Democrats in D.C. are kind of happy that Trump won. I bet you Democrats in D.C. wish they voted for Trump. I'm serious. It's starting to get to that level. With Gavin Newsom and all them pretending that somehow he's going to be popular. Oh my God, look, Gavin Newsom is one of the most popular governors in the union. Is he? Is he? He's still less popular than Trump. 28% approval rating, I think Gavin Newsom has nationally as a Democrat compared to Donald Trump's 44, 34. But I digress. Politically expedient, Democrats will only do things that's politically expedient for them. And for some reason, they love the optics of, oh, we're trying to be softer on crime. We're trying to give everyone a second chance. They always want to look compassionate. But being compassionate on this issue is the wrong philosophy to have. But I digress. Let's wrap up the video.
So prevented us from holding criminals accountable even when they're convicted of crimes. And so now here we are 5 years later, the police department with an authorized strength of 4,000 sworn members. We only have 3,180, leaving us with over 800 vacancies for the position of police officer. In order to make up for that gap, the police department uses 2 million hours of mandatory overtime to cover the demand for police officers. And so because of that, crime has skyrocketed in the district. And one of the things that we think is going on in the police department, which who knows how high up that those directives are coming from, is to make sure that these crime stats are reported in the most favorable way possible.
I mean, what you're saying obviously substantiates what we heard from President Trump. He said they were opening an investigation and that he didn't believe, because what happened, I don't have to tell you, I'm speaking to the audience at large, but when President Trump said he wanted to bring in National Guard, all we heard from many quarters in the media and in leadership in Washington was, this is ridiculous. Our numbers are lower than they've been in a long time in Washington, D.C.
And that's what they love. They love to show flawed numbers, so they push off a flawed narrative, and then over time, you realize the premise was false to begin with. And this is what Democrats love to do. They love to show like they're doing something. Like the prime example was with Gavin Newsom with this illegal migrant that killed 3 Floridians by doing the illegal U-turn, right? Face value, oh, he came in 2018. Oh, Trump gave him a work permit. And then you look into the details and you figure out, no, the federal government did issue him a work permit, but it was under Joe Biden, not Donald Trump. And you're complaining the fact that he came in under Trump, like 2018, he came into the country illegally while you guys were fighting him when he was trying to put the border wall up. But somehow you want to lay the blame at his feet. Like, make it make sense. Democrats act like they're not part of the process whatsoever. But this is the game that Democrats play, and then over time, as people start figuring out and their lines start unraveling, they just move on to another thing, and they like to call Trump the liar. And this is why I think many Americans, such as myself, do not trust the Democratic Party, because we all know Democrats are only out for themselves. They love themselves more than they love America. They hate Donald Trump more than they love America. Those two things, they're not in Americans' best interest to put them into power. You're doing everything you can to fluff numbers, to hide and mask the results of your policies, Democrats. And this is one of the reasons why you cannot focus on the intentionality of a policy. You must only focus on the results. But that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please share this video if you're so inclined. It really does help me out in the algorithm. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.